The 80-20 rule basically says that do 20% of actions that give you 80% of the results. So, in terms of going to the gym and building an aesthetic physique, what does this mean, right? When you look at your physique, if you take off your shirt right now and you look at your physique, there's certain muscle groups that are just holding your physique back. And when you work on those muscle groups, right, your physique will basically upgrade a few levels. Like, it will look so different. It will go up so much by just focusing on those specific muscle groups that are lacking, right? So what does this mean? Like, for example, let's say you've been going to the gym for a year. You've been training like chest, you've trained like biceps, whatever. But for some reason, it just doesn't seem like you've got that nice aesthetic V-taper physique, right? The muscles that are most likely lacking are literally the delts, right? You don't have the capped delts. You don't have like wide shoulders. And the lats. The lats are basically the muscles that give you the V-taper physique, where your shoulders look a lot more wider than your waist, right? So you've got like a V shape to you, right? So, like, literally, you can do this right now. You can literally just pause the video right now and look at your physique in the mirror, and then you can just like see like where your eyes are drawn to, right? This works like if you take off your shirt, your eyes are just immediately drawn to a certain muscle group. A certain muscle, your eyes are just immediately drawn to that muscle, right? For some reason, like, it's like your subconscious telling you, like, train this muscle, right? But like, if you just want to save your energy, right, I can literally just tell you for you right now what the muscles are, right? First of all, the one big muscle that's lacking and that's really holding your physique back is your neck. I can almost guarantee this. Like, I can bet like all the money I have in my bank account, I can bet, which is not much, by the way. I can bet all the money I have in my bank account that you're lacking, like, in terms of neck. And you know what, let's just keep it a neck for now, right? You've not trained your neck, so your neck is still like skinny and undeveloped, whatever. And for some reason, it just seems like your physique is not well rounded, just because, like, look, if you have like a thick neck, which is like defined and whatever, right, it adds on to the aesthetics, right? Because neck is one of the 7 aesthetic muscles. I'll put up a picture that will show you the difference the difference that neck makes. It's literally day and night. I had a skinny neck, like, when I started training. I trained it for 8 months. After that, like, my neck got thick, developed, whatever, and it made all the difference in terms of my aesthetics, right? So you see, like, in the picture, you can't see my physique, but you can tell for some reason, like, in the first picture, you can tell, like, I was too skinny as fuck, I hadn't trained. In the second picture, you can tell, literally, like, I have an aesthetic physique. Even without seeing my physique, you can tell in the second picture that, like, you know, I have been training for a while, right? So that was, like, for me, the muscle that I needed to train to see the biggest difference in my aesthetics, right, in my physique, right? For me, it was neck, right? And for you, it also is neck. Like, I can almost guarantee you've never done neck training in your life. And if you have, you've never actually done it for any amount of time to see any results, right? So for you, it's neck, right? What other muscle could be lacking? Most likely 90% of you, the other muscle that's lacking is traps, right? So you don't have developed traps. This muscle right here, it's not developed for you at all, right? You don't have developed traps at all, right? For the guys who've been going to the gym for like 8 months, 1 year, you've probably trained your chest to a decent level. You've probably trained your biceps to a decent level, triceps maybe to a decent level, right? These are like level 1 aesthetic muscle, right? But like, if you've not trained lats and lateral delts, right, which are basically like the 2 important muscles to give you the V-taper physique, like, you are just like, you are not doing anything. Like, you're yet to start making any progress, right? So I'll show you what this means, right, so that you really just get a full idea of what I'm saying. So, like, to build an aesthetic physique, what you want to focus on is having this shape, right? Let me clip on the microphone right here. I hope you can still hear me. But to build an aesthetic physique, you want to focus on having this shape, right? Where, like, you see how my shoulders are a lot more apart, right? So I'm standing here, my shoulders are a lot more apart, my waist looks a lot smaller, right? And that's because I've been training like these muscles here, the lats, right? These muscles that give me like the free taper. And then I've also been training like my delts, right? So you see like how my delts are popping and they're giving me like more width, right? I've been training those muscles, and now I just look like I have like a V shape to my physique, right? Where my shoulders look a lot wider, my waist looks a lot smaller. So these muscles, at no point in your whole training should these muscles ever be lacking, right? You should never at any point have like lacking lats or lateral delts. Like literally at no point, this should even be overdeveloped. You should literally aim to have overdeveloped lats and overdeveloped lateral delts. You cannot at all ever be lacking in lats and lateral delts, right? When I made this video, I made it in the assumption that like you already know what a V-taper physique is. You already know how important it is. Now it's more of like to round up the physique, the aesthetics. You now want to focus on things like neck. You now want to focus on things like lats, and then maybe things like obliques as well. I forgot to mention obliques, so I'll just show you that one as well. Obliques are like this muscle, right? So you see like this. You just see like how much more depth it adds to like the abs, right? So there's the abs, but this muscle right here, the obliques, right? I don't know if you can, how good you can see that. This muscle right here, the obliques, they add on to like your overall aesthetics. So those are also important, right? So these are like smaller muscles that like, yeah, you should be focusing on those, right? So for me, I've noticed that in recent times, the one that was lacking for me was my forearms. So I've taken like my forearm training like a lot more seriously. And of course, like everything else, I train twice a week to keep it up to speed with the rest of the physique, right? So I train my neck twice a week, I train my traps twice a week, my lateral delts, everything, all the 7 aesthetic muscles, I train them twice a week. But if at any point these crucial muscles are lacking, if at any point your lateral delts are lacking, your lats are lacking, then like you just need to forget about everything else and literally just do like fucking 18-20 sets a week on these muscles, right? Just do a lot of volume to guarantee that you're making enough progress each and every single week, right? To guarantee that you make enough progress with these muscles, do like 20 sets, right? Train these muscles twice a week. Train them at the beginning of your workout where you still have like the most amount of energy. Train them to failure every single set. Just push these muscles intensely to failure, right? Progressively overload. Like make so much progress in these muscles in the next like 2-3 months, right? Because these muscles cannot be lacking at any point. These muscles cannot be lacking with your whole physique. You'd rather have like your upper chest lacking. You'd rather have like of course neck. Like for you, like I already told you, like neck, you need to start training neck. This one I can guarantee you've not been training, so you just have to go start training neck from tomorrow onwards. When you go to the gym, write it down in your notes. Neck training in caps, right? Start training your neck because it's lacking, right? And you notice the difference because I've shown you the picture like to give you evidence that it makes a huge, massive difference, right? In your head, you'd think, yeah, right? Like neck, what's the point of training neck? That's what you'd probably be thinking, like in your head, like at no point do I really need to train neck. Like, what difference is it going to make? But I'm telling you, it makes all the difference. Your neck is always visible 24/7. People see your neck all the time. Girls find the neck attractive, like everything, right? You just need to train neck, right? So that's the big muscle that's lacking for you. 90% of like the rest of the people watching this video, and most likely you again, the other muscle that's lacking is your traps, right? So your traps need to be trained. And then once you've trained, like you focused on the 7 aesthetic muscles, and none of them are lacking. So the 7 aesthetic muscles very quickly are neck, upper traps, lateral delts, upper chest, abs, obliques, biceps, and lats. Once all these muscles are up to speed, and none of these muscles, there's nothing like lacking, they're all up to speed with the rest of the physique, then you can start focusing on like triceps and getting triceps up to speed with the rest of the physique. You can start focusing on forearms, getting your forearms up to speed with the rest of the physique, and anything else that could be lacking, right? That's when you start thinking about all these muscles, the 7 aesthetic muscles. At any given point, like if someone just came to wake you up in your sleep and held your gun to your head and said, show me your physique right now, it has to be up to speed, all the muscles have to be up to speed, you should be able to just like show them the fucking physique and all the 7 aesthetic muscles are up to speed at any given time, right? So That's the 80-20 rule. If you focus on the muscles that are lacking and you prioritize those muscles, it will make the biggest difference in your physique, simply because those muscles that are lacking are literally just holding your physique back a few points. And when those muscles catch up to the rest of the physique, it just makes it seem like your physique has gone up a lot, like a few levels up, right? If let's say, for example, your neck is lacking, right? Your neck and traps are lacking. If you continue to train chest and you continue to train biceps, right, you will have slightly bigger biceps in 3 months, 6 months. You will have a slightly bigger chest in 6 months, but people probably won't even be able to tell that your physique is any different than it was 6 months ago. If you train neck and traps, which are the muscles that are lacking for you right now, after 3 months, after 6 months, it will just look like your physique has just transformed completely. Just because these muscles were the ones which were holding your physique back, right? So that's the 80-20 rule. Train the muscles that are lacking. Look at yourself in the mirror. The where your eyes are instantly drawn to, that's the muscle that's lacking, right? And like your brain just tells you this automatically, right? So like I've done the hard part, which is like telling you what it is, but if you want to go confirm for yourself, just take off your shirt. Wherever your eyes look first, that's the muscle that's lacking. Like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel.